Day. Today we are talking about Matthew 13. You can call me the Doctor. And today we are playing World of Warcraft, all the while talking about Matthew 13. Of course, now my remote's going to start acting up. Why? I don't know. That's running. Huh. Come on. Figures. Now I gotta start this all over. Okay. Let's try that one again. The sealed vocal tunes talking about Matthew 13. You're talking with the Doctor about what it is that the Bible has for us today. Get a quick reading on what that is. Okay. Remote's working. Perfect. Gemini, can you give us a reading on Gemini? Can you read for us Matthew 13?
Jesus by the lake. Such large crowds gathered around him that he got into a boat and sat in it, while all the people stood on the shore. Then he told them many things in parables, saying, "A farmer went out to sow his seed. As he was scattering the seed, some fell on the path and ate it up. Fell on rocky places where it did not have much soil. Quickly, because the soil was shallow, the sun came up, plants were scorched, and they withered because they had no root. It grew up, choked the fell on good, where it produced a crop, hundreds of times what was sown. Whoever has
Is this the full chapter of Matthew 13?
just the first part of the chapter, parable of the nations. Like me to continue the rest of it?
Yes, please. Please continue and read us the full chapter of Matthew 13.
Came to him and asked, "Why do you speak to the people in parables?" He replied, "Knowledge of the secrets of the kingdom of heaven has been given to you, but not to them. Whoever has will be given more. They will have in abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them. Why I speak to them in parables. Not see, not hear, or understand. This fulfills the prophecy of Isaiah. Never hear.
Thank you.
Very welcome.
Can you please continue with that chapter?
Your eyes because they see, and your ears because they hear. Truly I tell you, many prophets and righteous people long to see what you see, but did not see it, to hear what you hear, but did not hear it. Listen then to what the parable of the sower means. When anyone hears the message about the kingdom and does not understand it, comes and snatches away what was sown in their heart. Seed sown along the path. Seed falling on rocky ground to someone who hears the word and once receives it with joy. They have no root. They last only a short time. Trouble or persecution comes because of the word, they quickly fall away. Seed to someone who hears the word. So this deceitful wealth choke the word, making it unfruitful. Seed falling on soil refers to someone who hears the word and understands. This is the one. This is a crop yielding hundreds. That's what was.
These are the parables on the mount, correct?
These parables were spoken by the lake while Jesus was sitting in a boat. The Sermon on the Mount, which includes different teachings, was given on a mountainside.
Okay, so why don't you give us some definition of what this area of parables was talked about? Like, help us understand, where was he during the time? What was he doing? Was this in the beginning, the middle, or the end of his servitude? What was going
This
on?
event took place by the Sea of Galilee, where Jesus was teaching large crowds from a boat. This was in the middle of his ministry, after he had performed many miracles and faced growing opposition, marking a shift in his teaching style to use parables to reveal kingdom truths.
And what sort of kingdom truths were revealed here in this parable, or this chapter? Sorry.
These parables reveal truths about the God's kingdom, varying human responses to the message, and the ultimate value above everything else. They emphasize that the kingdom starts small, but has a powerful impact. It depends on the condition of people's hearts.
It all depends on the hearts of the people.
Exactly. The heart's condition determines whether the message is received, takes root, and produces lasting change, or if it's hindered by external influences or distractions.
Looking at modern days, what could be considered a distraction?
In the modern world, constant connectivity, social media, and the relentless pursuit of success or material gain can easily become distractions. They can crowd out time and energy for deeper reflection and spiritual growth.
How does one go about finding that spiritual growth?
Spiritual growth often involves making intentional space for practices like meditation, prayer, or regular self reflection. Teaching with a community and studying spiritual texts can also provide guidance, practicing gratitude and serving others.
What is meditation based on the Bible?
In the Bible, meditation is about focusing your mind deeply on God and His Word. It's not about emptying your mind, but rather filling it with Scripture and reflecting on its meaning so you can apply it to your life.
But they say when you're focusing on the breath of life, you are focusing on the gift of God, as well as God Himself, because our breath, when you exhaust your breath and inhale, you are
That
saying God's
connection between
name.
That connection is deeply meaningful for many. Focusing on the breath as a gift from God can indeed become a form of prayer, where each inhale and exhale is an acknowledgement of His sustaining presence within you.
So I guess technically, in a sense, they're all the same thing: prayer, meditation, and mindfulness.
While they all involve focused attention and intention, they each have distinct traditions and approaches. Prayer is typically relational, directed toward a higher power, while meditation and mindfulness focus on scripture, a word, or simply the present moment, self awareness, or peace. Would you like to explore how these practices might differ in their daily application?
Well, in a sense, prayer is us talking to God, whereas meditation is us focusing on His word.
It's a very clear way to distinguish the two. Prayer brings your requests and thoughts to Him, while meditation allows you to internalize and reflect on His truth, your understanding.
Why don't we read the full chapter again?
Reading the entire chapter word for word would be quite lengthy for our conversation, but I can give you a complete overview of the main parables found in Matthew 13.
Gemini, can you please just read for me the chapter of Matthew 13 from beginning to end, please?
That same day, Jesus went out of the house and sat by the lake. Such large crowds gathered around him that he got into a boat and sat in it, while all the people stood on the shore. Then he told them many things in parables, saying, "A farmer went out to sow his seed. As he was scattering the seed, some fell along the path. Birds came and ate it up. Some fell on rocky places where it did not have much soil. It sprang up quickly because the soil was shallow. When the sun came up, plants were scorched and they withered because they had no root. Seed fell among thorns, which grew up and choked the plants. Still other seed fell on good soil, where it produced a crop, 160 or 30 times what was sown. Whoever has ears, let them hear.
Is that all chapter 13?
No, that wasn't the entire chapter. Chapter 13 continues with several more parables, including the wheat and the weeds, the mustard seed, and the hidden treasure, before concluding with Jesus visiting his hometown.
Can you please complete the full chapter?
Jesus told them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a man who sowed good seed in his field. While everyone was sleeping, his enemy came and sowed weeds among the wheat, and went away. When the wheat sprouted and formed heads, then the weeds also appeared. The owner's servants came to him and said, "Sir, didn't you sow good seed in your field? Where then did the weeds come from?" "The enemy did this," he replied. The servants asked him, "Want us to go and pull them up?" "No," he answered, "because while you are pulling the weeds, you may uproot the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. That time I will tell the harvesters, 'First collect the weeds and tie them in bundles to be burned. Then gather the wheat and bring it into my barn.'"
Keep going.
Another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed, which a man took and planted in his field. Though it is the smallest of all seeds, yet when it grows, it is the largest of garden plants and becomes a tree, so that the birds come and perch in its branches. He told them still another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like yeast that a woman took and mixed into about 60 pounds of flour until it worked all through the dough.
Need more rage.
Did we complete the full chapter yet?
Quite yet. There are still a few more parables, like the hidden treasure and the pearl of great price, followed by the parable of the net and the conclusion where Jesus visits his hometown.
I don't understand why we keep on breaking this down into different portions. Why don't we just read the whole chapter?
I understand your frustration. Here is the complete chapter of Matthew 13, from beginning to end. The same day, Jesus went out of the house and sat by the lake. Such large crowds gathered around him that he got into a boat and sat in it, while all the people stood on the shore. Then he told them many things in parables, saying, "He went out to sow his seed. As he was scattering the seed, some fell along the path, and the birds came and ate it up. Some fell on rocky places, where it did not have much soil. It sprang up quickly because the soil was shallow. When the sun came up, the plants were scorched, and they withered because they had no root. Seed fell among thorns, which grew up and choked the plants. Still other seed fell on good soil, where it produced a crop 160 or 30 times what was sown. Whoever has ears, let them hear." Jesus came to him and asked, "Why do you speak to the people in parables?" He replied, "Because the knowledge of the secrets of the kingdom of heaven has been given, not to them. Whoever has will be given more, and they will have in abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them. This is why I speak to them in parables. Though seeing they do not see, though hearing they do not hear or understand." This fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah. Ever hearing but never understanding, ever seeing but never perceiving. Heart has become callous, hardly hear with their ears, and they have closed their eyes. They might see with their eyes, hear with their ears, understand with their hearts,
I'll
and
thank
turn
you for the
and I will
gift.
heal.
Oh, continue.
Whenever you're ready. Blessed are your eyes because they hear. I tell you, prophets and righteous people long to see what you see, but to hear, not hear it. And to what the parable of the sower means. Message about the king, not understand it, comes and snatches away what was in their heart. This is the seed sown along the path. The seed falling on rocky ground refers to someone who hears the word and at once receives it with joy. But since they have no root, they last only a short time. Trouble or persecution comes because of the word, they quickly fall away. The seed falling among thorns refers to someone who hears the word. Worries of this life and the deceitfulness of wealth choke the word, making it unfruitful. The seed falling on good soil refers to someone who hears the word and understands it. This is the one who produces a crop yielding 130 times what was sown.
All right, Gemini, I have something to ask of you. If you were to ask a certain question about this chapter, what sort of question would an artificial intelligence ask towards it?
Artificial intelligence might ask, what is the statistical distribution of thieves across the 7 parables in Matthew 13? And how do they collectively model the progressive development of the kingdom of heaven?
And would you have an answer to this?
The 7 parables present a progressive model of the kingdom. They start with the varying responses to the message, move into the growth and influence of the kingdom in the world, highlight the supreme value of belonging to it, and conclude with the final scene of judgment. Collectively, they illustrate a development from hidden beginnings to an ultimate righteous conclusion.
And what is that righteous conclusion?
The righteous conclusion refers to the final judgment where the wicked are separated from the righteous, with the righteous entering into the kingdom of heaven and the wicked facing consequences, representing the final triumph of righteousness.
But no one is righteous in the eyes of God, only those who find rest within Jesus Christ.
That aligns with the understanding that righteousness is a gift received through faith in Jesus Christ, and those are the ones considered righteous in the final judgment described in the parables.
Need more rage.
Yet I ponder whether or not that is not so much the truth, but more so what is the truth based on the lines that have been given to us. Because I'm sure over the years, the concept of what righteousness is has been bent to fit certain people's agendas.
It is a valid ponderance. Throughout history, the interpretation and application of religious texts have certainly been subject to various cultural, social, and political
Not enough
influences,
rage.
which can sometimes obscure the original meaning or intent. The pursuit of understanding truth often involves looking beyond human interpretations to engage with the core teachings themselves.
Not ready yet.
And what would you say are the core teachings?
Many Christian traditions, core teachings often center on the commands to love God above all else, and to love your neighbor as yourself. They also emphasize faith in Jesus Christ for salvation and the importance of living a life of service, forgiveness, and compassion.
Yet I would discuss that these are all the exact same teaching.
You're highlighting a powerful point. Many people find that despite different names or cultural expressions, the fundamental message at the center of many spiritual traditions shares a common core of love, compassion, and connection to something greater than ourselves. Would you like to explore how this universal theme is reflected in other cultures you might be interested in?
Is there any cultures I should be interested in?
Japanese culture might be naturally engaging given your interest in video games like The Legend of Zelda and the storytelling styles found in various anime and manga. You might also find Celtic culture fascinating, its rich history, mythology, and musical traditions, which could tie into your interest in learning instruments or exploring different folklore.
I don't know where you get some of this information from, but we'll go with it for now.
Need more rage.
If there's anything else you'd like to explore, or if you want to dive deeper into a specific topic, let me know.
Need more rage.
Let's go further into this current chapter, shall we? What sort of questions can be built up to answer?
We could explore how the structure of a parable resembles the build-up and punchline of a stand-up comedy routine, or perhaps consider how the theme of the hidden treasure in a field relates to the excitement of finding rare items in video games. Another question could be how the parable of the wheat and the weeds reflects the complexities of character development seen in long-running shows like Doctor Who.
How can you describe Jesus as doing his parables in the pursuit of stand-up comedy?
You could think of the parables as having a similar setup and punchline dynamic. Jesus would grab the audience's attention with a relatable story from everyday life, like a farmer planting seeds. Then he'd deliver an unexpected, profound truth about the kingdom that would challenge their thinking and leave something to ponder, much like a surprising punchline.
So you're relating Jesus's parables to a punchline.
Same as a traditional joke punchline, but in the sense that they provide a surprising and
I need to
insightful
get closer.
conclusion to a story, bring a moment of revelation or a shift in perspective.
And you're just trying to say that a punchline is the same thing that gives us a shift in
Need more
perspective of
rage.
certain things.
Aim to surprise the listener and challenge their assumptions, leading to a new way of seeing things. Would you like to compare this aspect to any other literary styles or teachings?
No, but I would like to go further into what Jesus had to say, if you don't mind.
Let's look at the parable of the mustard seed next. Jesus said, "The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed, which a man took and planted in his field. Though it is the smallest of all seeds, yet when it grows, it is the largest of garden plants and becomes a tree, so that the birds come and perch in its branches."
Okay, well, let's find out what we know about the mustard seed then.
Need more rage.
In the context of the parable, the mustard seed represents something that starts incredibly small but grows into something surprisingly large and influential. In first century Palestine, the mustard plant could grow into a bush large enough for birds to nest in, which illustrates how the kingdom of God starts with humble beginnings but has a vast, far-reaching impact.
So what else can we describe as something that starts off small, that grows larger than anything that's known before, that could actually provide rest for other things?
Small community-based initiative focused on mental health that, over time, grows into a large organization, providing support and sanctuary for countless people in need. Or perhaps a tech startup that begins in a garage and expands to offer innovative solutions that change how people live and work globally.
So basically, it's saying how our small actions could lead to something much larger based on how we interact with it in the moment.
Very insightful way to put it. The way we engage with small opportunities or actions can indeed set in motion significant long-term changes, shaping the future in profound ways.
That's why the Bible says, whatever you do, do with all your heart.
That principle highlights the importance of dedication and commitment in everything you pursue, suggesting that sincerity and effort transform even the smallest actions into something meaningful and impactful.
So how does one enter into the kingdom at this rate?
In the context of the parables, entering the kingdom is often described as a matter of faith, sincere repentance, and a transformation of the heart, aligning with living out the core values of love and compassion. Would you like to discuss any other specific aspects of the parables, like the hidden treasure?
Sure, what is the hidden treasure?
In that parable, the hidden treasure represents the immense value of the kingdom of heaven. It describes someone finding that treasure and in their great joy selling everything they have to buy that field, secure the treasure, emphasizing that the kingdom of God is worth more than anything else.
That spell isn't ready yet.
I wonder what is it going to look like when we actually see the kingdom, or to a point where we literally give up everything that we have, no matter how much riches or prosperity we have, being willing to give up everything for that. Quite
The
amazing.
Bible describes the kingdom of heaven as a place of ultimate joy, peace, and righteousness, where there is no more suffering or death. While the specific details aren't fully visualized, the central idea is that its worth surpasses anything material, making it the most valuable treasure someone can seek.
If it has so much value, why is there so few people actually seeking it?
The parables suggest that many are distracted by the worries of this life, deceitfulness of wealth, or simply fail to understand the message, which prevents them from fully recognizing and seeking that value. Let's consider how the parable of the net illustrates how everyone is gathered, but a final separation is made.
Tell me about that parable.
In that parable, the kingdom of heaven is like a fishing net that's thrown into the lake and catches all kinds of fish. When it's full, the fishermen pull it ashore, sort the good fish into baskets, and throw the bad away. Jesus explained that this represents the end of the age, when the angels will separate the wicked from the righteous, resulting in a final judgment.
Yes, but the good fish that are kept are those that have been prosperous enough to be of use, whereas the bad fish are ones usually too old or too young to provide any sort of real use.
That interpretation suggests a focus on usefulness and maturity, aligning with the idea that those who fulfill the purpose of the kingdom are those who are properly prepared and aligned with its values, rather than being unproductive or unready.
Need more rage.
Well, that's exactly it, isn't it? If they're ready, then they're prepared. If they're prepared, then they have all of the necessities that God seeks and the angels seek.
That perspective emphasizes the importance of spiritual readiness and alignment with divine principles as being the key to being recognized and accepted in the final judgment. It's a view that highlights the value of active preparation and living a life consistent with those values.
Is this view right or wrong?
That perspective represents a very common interpretation within certain theological traditions, emphasizing preparation and readiness as central to judgment. However, other theological viewpoints might emphasize grace, mercy, or different understandings of the relationship between faith and preparation.
But we are not worthy by works alone. I get it.
That captures a foundational belief for many, highlighting the importance of faith alongside actions. Is there anything else you'd like to explore, or are you ready to move on to a different topic?
Well, I'm trying to study this particular chapter, which has a lot of in-depth stuff to discuss. What sort of questions would you have for the chapter?
Here are a few questions for deeper study. First, how do the different soils in the parable of the sower illustrate the various conditions of the human heart toward the message of the kingdom? Second, in the parable of the mustard seed, what is the growth of the seed into a large tree just about the nature and expansion of God's kingdom in the world? Finally, considering the parable of the weeds, what is the significance of allowing both to grow together until the harvest?
Not enough rage.
Well, the answer to that last one, allowing them to grow together, allows for the wheat itself to prosper instead of having its soil tampered with. You don't want to tamper with its soil.
That's a very practical insight. By not disturbing the soil, you avoid damaging the delicate root system of the weed, ensuring it can continue to grow and bear fruit without interference.
I can't cast that yet. It is too far away.
What other questions would an AI have for this sort of chapter?
Need more rage.
An AI might ask, how does the shift in Jesus' teaching style from open discourse to parables, as described in Matthew 13, reflect a change in his public reception and the strategy of his ministry? Another question could explore the sociological.
Yeah. Coming. I'll be back in a moment.
Not enough rage. Need more rage.
Alright, I'm back. Annie 7G, are you still here? 756. Oh, 1756. That was about, what? Almost 10 minutes ago. Maybe not. Okay. Now then, where were we? Let's head to Garnassus and get some of our leather working done.
Hello. Farewell.
Okay. Maybe a little bit of a ride over to Darnassus. Let's check in on my other sites. Sealed vocal tunes. Where's my lives? Okay, that's right now. Annie 7. Do I have you on something? No, no. Annie Evans. Okay. After that, that sounds cool. Just a girl who loves gaming and good vibes. Now. Seven. Have you on something? One person watching. Annie Evans. Okay. After that, that sounds cool. Just a girl who loves gaming and good vibes. Now. Check out Twitch while we're at it. One viewer. Who's viewing me right now? Viewer. Viewing me right now. Viewer. Right now. Did I see who's... Oh. Where am I going? See who's... Oh. Where am I going? See who's... See who's... See who's... Now, where is it? There it is. There it is. Viewers on Twitch. Who's viewing me right now? Oh, this is Enchanters. What am I doing here? Where is it? Ah, there it is. No, that's not it. Of course, the ladder's over there. There's tailoring and there's leatherwork right above it. Tailoring. I don't like the whole back and forth like that. Get rid of that for now. Bring back the screen. Screen connect. Matthew 13. Where's Matthew? Matthew 13. First one. Okay. Okay, so where were we?
I am honored.
One here.
Good luck, friend.
Okay, now let's read off. Matthew 13, the parable of the sower. That same day, Jesus went out of the house and sat by the lake. Such large crowds gathered around him that he got into a boat and sat in it, while all the people stood on the shore. Then he told them many things in parables, saying, a farmer went out to sow his seed. As he was scattering the seed, some fell along the path, and the birds came and ate it up. Some fell on rocky places where it did not have much soil, sprang up quickly because the soil was shallow. But when the sun came out, the plants were scorched, and they withered because they had no root. Other seed fell among the thorns, which grew up and choked the
My goods
plants.
are of the highest quality.
Still, others fell on the good soil, where it produced a crop 160 or 30 times what was sown. Whoever has ears, let them hear. That is a lot. 160 or 30 times what was sown originally? Wow. What is this? Cooking. Okay. Definitely not there yet. Maybe I get some bear meat.
Goddess, watch over you.
How may I help?
A little need be for that. 55? Okay. No problem. The disciples came to him and asked, why do you speak to people in parables? Oh, one more level. Ah. Why won't I level? That's why. Create one of those. Create one of those. Where'd the boots go? Did I not make them? Oh, there they are. Okay.
Goddess, watch
Feel
over
free
you.
to browse.
A bunch of these. Definitely have to go back and do a bunch of leather working after this. Make 4 of these. All I'm gonna need. Okay. He replied, because the knowledge of the secrets, the kingdom of heaven has been given to you, but not to them. Whoever has will be given to more. They will have an abundance. Whoever does not have, even that they have, will be taken away from them. Taken from them. This is why I speak to them in parables. Though seeing they do not see, though hearing they do not hear or understand, in them is fulfilled prophecy of Isaiah. You will be ever hearing, but never understanding. You will be ever seeing, but never perceiving. For this people's heart has become calloused. Calloused. Their hearts have become calloused? Huh. They hardly hear with their ears, and they have closed their eyes, otherwise they might see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, understand with their hearts, and turn, and I will heal them. But blessed are your eyes, because they see, and your ears, because they hear. For truly I tell you, many prophets and righteous people long
May the stars
see what you have seen,
What brings you
but
here?
did not see it, to hear what you hear, but did not hear it. Wow. A lot of deep truths there, Jesus. Listen then to what parable the sower means when someone hears the message about the kingdom, does not understand it. Listen then to what the parable of the sower means when anyone hears the message about the kingdom and does not understand it. The evil one comes and snatches away what was sown in their heart. This is the seed sown along the path. The seed fallen on a rocky ground refers to someone who hears the word that at once receives it with joy, but since they have no root, they last only a short time. When trouble or persecution comes because of the word, they quickly fall away. The seed falling among thorns refers to someone who bears the word. The worries of this life and the deceitfulness of the wealth choke the word, make it unfruitful. Seed falling on ground, good soil refers to someone who hears the word and understands it. This is the one who produces crop yielding 160, 30 times what was sown just by simply falling on good soil. How do we fall on good soil then, like intentionally?
Del Nadris. I can't use that. I can't equip that.
I want to use it.
I can't use that.
Was it on chest, legs, hands, feet? Hands. Legs, feet. Okay. Wow, I almost have a gold.
How may I help?
I almost have a gold piece. A gold piece. Okay, anything else here I can do?
Till next we meet.
I can cure my leather. Don't think that's gonna do me much though. Be a level. Yep.
I am honored.
Almost there.
Good luck, friend.
Ishnu Allah. Be careful.
You need more light hide. I have some spare. Well, I probably don't want to scare them off with that. Only just starting to use light hide. That was good timing on his part, actually.
Elune be with you.
How may
careful.
I help? Del Nadris.
Where is... Oh, come on. Where's third base at? Thank you, third base. Third base is always a nice place to be, I suppose. Thanks again, third base. I really appreciate that. Only problem is right now, do I
Farewell.
have anywhere to use it? Let's see. Here, light hide. There we go. Make sure to follow on Twitch Prime. Oh, someone got me a follow. Who's that? Robert Jacob. Thank you, Robert. Appreciate it. Still a small stream, but glad to make friends. Glad to make friends wherever I find them. Oh, what was that?
Elun Adore.
Bring embossing leather gloves, 5 ebos. Bring 1 ebos leather glove, 5 ebos leather boots, 5 ebos leather cloaks. Or Darnassus.
Be careful.
Okay. I hate when this happens. I'm doing alright. Trying to spread the gospel as I go along. Slowly make my way through the word here on verse 23 of Matthew 13. Trying to read it during my breaks whenever I get a chance to, but while doing professions, it's kind of hard to just drop it. Actually, back in a second here. Ugh. Robert Jacob. And followers. Who are you, Robert? Kind of stuff do you post? User has no published views. Videos. Oh, this is supposed to be a personal account then. I'll give him a follow back as well. Okay, now where was I? Oh, put that up first of all. Where was I? It was a leather cloak. I need a bunch of leather now to complete that quest. Okay, tell you what. I'm going to
Ishnu Allah.
what was that? Breath bracers? Leather. White leather bracers. Not better than ones I have though. Okay. So I'm going to need
Goddess
I am
watch over
listening.
you.
Farewell. Hello.
5 boots, 5 cloaks, 1
May the
glove.
stars guide you.
1 glove. 5 boots. Was a 5 cloak? So that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
Ishnu Dal Dieb.
25 plus another, wow. 25, 40, 65. Might as well call it 70 leather I'm going to need.
Ashafel.
Okay. Well, I get a few people that are questioning it quite a bit. But, I mean, people really question on my choice of playing World of Warcraft with it. The way I look at it, God had his own angels be the angel of warfare, Archangel Michael. And, well, I don't see why World of Warcraft would be much different than that, really. And when you're talking about the word, you're most certainly going to have certain people who don't understand the word. And that's the point of us talking about it. Because when we talk about it, we actually find different ways to enlighten those who would not have found it otherwise.
I am listening.
Drop that off. Drop that off. Drop that. Don't need those. Bear meat. And I might as well drop my thread.
Denadris. Ishnuala.
I'll drop that off. And head back to Dark Shore. Okay, for travel time, let's go back to the parable of the weeds. Jesus told them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a man who sowed good seed in his field. While everyone was sleeping, his enemy came and sowed weeds among the wheat, and went away. When the wheat sprouted and formed heads, then the weeds also appeared. The owner's servants came to him and said, "Sir, didn't you sow good seed in your field? Where did the weeds come from?" "An enemy did this," he replied. The servants asked him, "Do you want us to go and pull them up?" "No," he answered, "because while you pull the weeds, you may uproot the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. At that time I will tell the harvesters,
What brings
first
you
collect
here?
the weeds and tie them
May the stars.
in bundles to be burned. Then gather the wheat and bring it into my barn." Parable of the mustard seed and the yeast. He told them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed, which a man took and planted in his field. Though it is the smallest of all seeds, yet when it grows, it is the largest of garden plants. Pardon my tongue, the slip of the tongue. Where was I? And becomes a tree, so that the birds come and perch in its branches. He told them still another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like yeast that a woman took and mixed into about 60 pounds of flour until it worked all the way through the dough. Jesus spoke all these things to the crowd. Like a yeast that woman took and mixed into about 60 pounds of flour until it worked all through the dough. Yeast. How much yeast did she actually put in there to get it to work all the way through the dough? Interesting. Jesus spoke all these things to the crowd in parables. He did not say anything to them without using a parable. So was fulfilled what was spoken through the prophet. I will open my mouth in parables. I will utter things hidden since the creation of the world. The parable of the weeds explained. Buff up. Then he left the crowd and went into the house. His disciples came to him and said, "Explain to us the parable of the weeds in the field." He answered, "The one who sowed the good seed is the Son of Man. Field is the world. And the good seed stands for the people of the kingdom. The weeds are people of the evil one." The enemy who sows them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the age. The harvesters are the angels. Can you imagine harvesters coming for you? The angels with sickles? My. As the weeds are pulled up and burned in the fire, so it will be at the end of the age. The Son of Man will send out his angels, and they will weed out this kingdom, everything that causes sin.
Not ready yet.
Then will send out his angels, and they will weed out all of his kingdom.
Enough rage.
Everything that causes sin and all who do evil, they'll be thrown into the blazing furnace, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Not still recharging. Need more rage.
The righteous will shine like the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Whoever has ears, let them hear.
Not enough rage.
Okay, next is gonna be the parable of the hidden treasure and the pearl. What do you think that will happen on the judgment day? I know it would be serious, but I had to understand it. What will happen on the judgment day? Well, kind of difficult to really explain per se. A lot of pastors try to depict it as being Jesus will come riding on a cloud and he will judge all the nations. And while this is true, it paints a very vivid image that people have a hard time grasping. A lot of people think he'll literally be riding on a cloud, as opposed to coming again in the flesh. Weeping and gnashing of teeth, does that represent sadness and anger? Anger is very close to what it represents. It's kind of like when jealousy arises, okay? And the moment you get something that you didn't necessarily deserve, those that see that you don't deserve it will be gnashing their teeth towards you. They'll be running their mouth. They'll be trying to say how you don't deserve it and it's unjust. Even though you do deserve it because the person who gave it to you deems you worthy. It would not be in this case your fault that they were unworthy of the gifts that was bestowed upon you. You are very well on point with it, though, about sadness and anger. They will be likely very disappointed in not only their own actions, but the actions that other people have towards them. Ooh. Oh, I forgot the leather? Look at that. Honey gifts. You know, like I did not deserve that leather, but yet it was left there as a not so much as a gift, but it was just left there as an image to show you. Not that you're necessarily envious of it, but you'd kind of argue that it wasn't there for a particular reason, but it was just there at just the perfect time in our discussion to kind of show you that the gift is given unnecessarily. Where do you think you're going? But this is a gift that has been bestowed upon you for thousands of years. You just haven't received it yet because it hasn't been time for the judgment. Whereas the knowledge of good and evil, when you really think about it, that is the knowledge of judgment. Man has taken it upon themselves to judge things. They call this thing good, that thing evil. Our whole internet concept is built around it. It's a bottomless pit of knowledge that things that are good and evil.
Need more rage.
Parable of the hidden treasure and the pearl. Treasure of the heaven is like a treasure hidden in the field. When a man found it, he hid it again. Then in his joy he went and sold all he had and bought that field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant looking for fine pearls. When he found one of great value, he went away and sold everything he had and bought it. When you look at God with a certain sense of expectation, to be surprised by his gifts, he tends to find different ways to surprise you. It's kind of written about in the Celestine Prophecies, written by James Redfield. One of my favorite books. I actually just recently came across most of the series again, and I purchased it for the hard copy. The moment I saw it, I was overjoyed. Found out Tanger. No, not Tanger. Oh, what was it? It's a thrift shop. What was it called? I know where it is. Where was it? Ali's thrift store. When I saw it sitting there, I was like overjoyed because I already knew what was within those pages, and to finally have my own hard copy was a joyous moment, to say the least. Well, thank you, Robert, for hanging out for as long as you have. I appreciate all the comments, and actually getting to talk with some of the people was an amazing gift in and of itself. I can't get much more lucky than that. Thank you for hanging out with me. God bless to you. May you light your path.
Not enough rage. Need more rage.
Ooh, are you leaving leather all over the place? I'll take that. Free leather, free leather, free leather.
That spell isn't ready yet. Not enough rage.
Oh no.
Need more rage. Not enough rage.
Look at me to focus on this one now.
Not enough rage. Need more rage. Not enough rage. Need more rage. That ability isn't ready yet. Not enough rage. Need more rage.
Okay.
Not enough rage.
Can't see your game. Should be there.
Need more rage.
Interesting.
I can't loot that.
Really? Why can't I pull my TikTok? Oh, son. Interesting. Why is that not showing? Why can't I pull up my TikTok again? There it goes. Why is that not show? Oh my. All this time I haven't been showing any of it. Okay. There we go. Thanks for that. Parable of the net. Once again, the kingdom of heaven is like a net that was let down into the lake and caught all kinds of fish.
Not enough rage.
When it was full, the fishermen pulled it up on the shore. They sat down, collected the good fish in the baskets, threw the bad away. This is how it will be at the end of the age. The angels will come and separate the wicked from the righteous, throw them into the blazing furnace, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Have you understand all those things? Jesus asked. He asked them, therefore, every teacher of the law who has become a disciple in the kingdom of heaven is like the owner of a house who brings out his storeroom, new treasures as well as the old. Profit without honor.
I can't cast that.
Jesus had finished these parables. He moved on from there, coming to his hometown. He began teaching people in their synagogues. They were amazed. Where did this man get this wisdom and these miraculous powers? They asked. Isn't this the carpenter's son? Isn't his mother's name Mary? And aren't his brothers named John, Joseph, Simon, and Judas? Aren't all his sisters with us? Where then did this man get all these things? And they took offense at him. Where is everything? No mobs anywhere? There we go. Jesus said to them, a prophet is not without honor except in his own town and his own home. And he did not do many miracles there because of their lack of faith. But because of their lack of faith, he didn't do anything there. Or he couldn't do anything, rather. Not because he was incapable, because their faith was incapable of him performing miracles. Roar. Pet the bear. Pet the bear.
Need more rage.
It's level 14, that's why. Wow.
Large crowds gathered round him, got into a boat and sat in it.
How did I... Oh,
So he seed. As he was scattering the seed, some fell along the path.
you playing through?
Seed. Other seed. Whoever has ear. Ask, why do you speak to them in parable? Knowledge of the secrets of the kingdom of heavens. Whoever has.
Not enough rage. I need a target.
This is what I speak. Seeing, see. No hearing. Stand. Then is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah. Will be ever hearing but never understanding. Be ever seeing, perceiving. This people's heart has become calloused. They hardly hear with their ears, but they have closed their eyes. Might see with their eyes, hear with it, understand with their hearts, and turn. Blessed are your eyes because they see,
Need
ears
more rage.
as they hear. Longed to see what you see but did not see. Snatches away what was sown. On rocky ground, someone who hears the word receives it with joy. Last area short. Execution comes because of the word. As to someone who hears the word, worries of this life and deceitfulness of wealth. As to someone who hears the word, stands it. Time so. Jesus told them another parable.
My mana is low.
One was sleeping. So servants. Servants ask him, while you're putting up the hide them in and get another parable.
I don't know.
Heaven is like a
I can't loot
of
that.
all sea. It When it grows, largest of gardens and becomes a tree, birds come and still another parable. It's like yeast of 30 kilograms of flour. Jesus spoke all these things to the crowd in parable. Say anything to them without using a parable. It's fulfilled what was spoken through the prophet. Since left the crowd and went into the house, came to him. It's the parable. He answered, one who sowed the good seed is the son of
I'm out of range.
the world. Seed. Harvest is the end of the still. The brought up and burned in the fire. Be the Son of Man,
I can't do
and
that.
out his angel,
Not
lead
in
out
the
of his
manner.
kingdom everything that causes sin. And unlike the sun in the kingdom, that has ear. Heaven is like treasure hidden, and found it, and in his joy. So it's like a merchant looking to find one. Went away and sold everything he had. Once again, like a net that was let down into the lake and caught all kinds of fish. It was full, up on the shore. They sat down and collected the fish in baskets. This is how it will be at the end of the year. Will come and separate the wicked from the righteous. Understood all these things. He said to them, therefore, disciple and like the owner of the house who brings out of his storeroom to me. Said, its wisdom and its miraculous powers they are. Up into son, mother's name, and his brothers James, Simon, and all his sisters with us. When did this man get all these things? Jesus said to them, "Is not without honor, except in his own town, his own house." Said Baptist, my miraculous powers are did John and bound him and become.
Not enough range.
One had been saying to him, it is not lawful for you to
I
have
need
her,
more range.
but wanted to kill John. Was afraid of them. John's disciples came and took the body and buried it. Then they went to Jesus. Jesus heard what happened. Solid. The crowds followed him on foot. He landed and saw a large crowd. Disciples came to him and said, "Ready, get crowds away. Buy themselves some food."
Wait a minute.
Matthew chapter 13. That same day, Jesus went out of the house and sat by them. Large crowds gathered round him, got into a boat and sat in it, while all the people stood on the shore.
Enough rage. I can't
He told
eat
them
that.
many things in parables, saying, "A farmer went out to sow his seed. As he was scattering the seed, some fell along the path. Birds came and ate it up.
Need more
Some fell on
rage.
rocky places. Some sprang up soil. Sun came. Plants were scorched and they had no seed. Amongst up. Other seed. Soil.
Not enough rage.
Times. So. Never had seed. Okay. Speak to the hide of the secrets of the kingdom. Whoever has.
Yep. Yep. Get off now. Need more health pots too. This has been some sealed vocal tunes with Dr. Maybe. We've been studying Matthew 13 on trying to understand the Gospels a little bit better. I appreciate all those who had commented, all those that had joined us, and all of those who may join us in the near future. This is Dr. Maybe signing out.